Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about are styles, and styles are collections of formatting that you can apply to your text, to your paragraph, to your entire document if you wish. By using styles, you can keep your formatting consistent because you can say, okay, I have a style for my paragraph headings, let's say, and it consists of maybe 4 or 5 different formats that you apply. Well, you don't have to always remember what those formats are in the future, because if you have them packaged into this style, all you have to do is click onto the text, click onto the style name, and it applies it. So it's pretty cool. And also too, if after you've applied a particular style or a package of formatting to a number of different areas in your document, then what happens is, let's say later on you decide that you want to change part of that style, maybe modify one of the formats that you have in that style. You go in there and you change the style formatting, or I should say the formatting property of that style, that's particular one, and it will automatically update all of the areas that you originally had applied that style to. So you'll see how this goes as we're doing this, but it's a really good tool for very quickly being able, and also consistently formatting different parts of your document. Okay, so the first style that we're going to be creating is one that it contains a number of different formatting. So this heading right here for the Chicago area, we've got kind of like a background color, we've got a particular font, we've got the color, we've got the bordering, and we also have specific spacing in here as well. And so even though this might just consist of maybe 4 or 5 different formats, it'd be nice to be able to make a formatting package out of it, make this style out of it, and then be able to apply that to other headings I have within this document here, as well as in the future when I have other documents and I want to use the same set of formatting, I can use the style there as well. So it's really kind of a neat thing. So the way we do this is you would click into the area that has the formatting that you'd like to collect into this style. If it makes you feel better, you can also just kind of select that whole area if you wanted to. It really doesn't matter. But whatever you do, you get it selected, all right? And then what you're going to do is over here in the styles area here, we're going to click on this little arrow right here, this little dialog box button. And when we click it, this opens up here. Now the program comes with a number of pre-made styles already, and you've seen them up here, and they're also listed over here. So just to give you an idea, I mean, if we were to go with maybe one of their styles, and let's say we wanted to go with the heading 1 here, okay, for this guy. So we go and click on the heading 1, and it does something like that. Or here's heading 2, or here's heading 3. Here's the title one, all right? The problem I have with most of these is that they're not very robust. I mean, they really don't have a lot as far as the looks that I like, as far as formatting goes. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit undo just a few times here to get back to what I had. Okay, so we've come to the conclusion that we're not going to use these, so we're going to make our own. So the trick is that you find an area that you've already formatted, and you're going to basically copy that formatting into the style. That's what we're going to be doing here, all right? So you select that, as we said before, and then down here, this little plus, it says New Style. So when you click it, this little dialog box pops up. Now, as you can see, it has like a sample of what we have right here. So it gives you an idea what we're currently working with. This is all the formatting that went into it. All right, so what I'm going to do first of all is give this style a name. So up here where it says name, and we see style up there, I'm going to call this one my heading green, something like that, all right? And then it's going to be what we call a paragraph style. And what that means is that it affects an entire paragraph versus if you did like a character style, then what that would do is it would affect just text that you selected. So if you had it as a paragraph style and you just selected a little bit of this, or were just to click onto it, or better yet, if you just were to select a little bit and applied the style, it would basically still do the whole thing. Whereas if you made this style a character style and you selected maybe just the word Chicago, then that would be formatted, but the TM and the area would not be formatted. When you're doing this later on other text. So I think the more popular ones are really the paragraph type style. So we're gonna do this as a paragraph. So we got heading green, paragraph. Pretty much you leave this stuff alone, okay? And then if you wanted to, you could add additional formatting to what you already have here, but we're not going to bother doing that. Now, most important, down below here, it says only in this document. If you leave that checked, if you leave it on that and hit OK, you'll have created the style and you'll be able to use that style on other headings throughout this document. But when you go out to another document, another file, you're not going to find that style because it's only housed in this particular document. So what you have to do, if truly you want to be able to use this universally everywhere, what you do is you go back and you click onto this second radio button here. And this way it'll be available not only in this document, but also in all other documents as well, all new documents that are based on the regular template here. So that's it. So that's all we have to do. So we go ahead and hit OK. And there we go. Now you're going to see that we've got the heading green up there. And because we're on this right now, it says heading green. Now if I click away from it, then it just says I'm on my normal, which is like nothing at all. I click back onto here, it says heading green. All right. Now we go further down, and there's the Tampa Bay area. Now I can click anywhere on it. All right. Go over into my styles area, click onto the heading green, and voila. All right. If I didn't even have this open, all right, and let's say now I go and I find my next heading, let's say this one right here for Canada. So I click onto here. Currently it's normal. There's my style. Click it. Boom. It's done. And I would just kind of go through the rest of this. So here's the Mexican one. We'll do that one there. There's Lahaina. We'll do that one there. All right. Yucatan. There it goes. Hana. There it goes. We got this one here. So what's great about this is it makes it so easy to apply a bunch of formatting, and especially later on when you do this with another document and you've got a bunch of headings to do, you've got that consistency and you've got the speed. So it's all in there. I think I got everything in there. Looks like it's all done there. So that's pretty cool. All right, so you get done doing this, and you might come back later on and you'll say, I think what I like to do is change this. So it's, instead of it being green, it might maybe be a different color. All right. So how would you do that? How would you fix that? Or how would you make it so where you can modify the style so that when you go and change it to, let's say, black text or blue text or whatever we're going to change it to, that it will affect everything. Well, to do that, we have to change the style. So what we'll do is we'll go over here to the style, hit that little drop down arrow, and tell it that we want to modify it. And it opens back up to here. And then what we can do is we can say, okay, I want to change it from being green, which we have now. So click on there and maybe change it to, say, orange, something like that. So it'll look like that. All right. And then once you've done that, you got to make sure that you have this still set for new documents as well as this one here, but that would be this one here. Make sure you got that chosen, because if you don't do that, then it will, what will basically happen is that it won't, future documents that you would apply this to would not have this update. All right, they still have the old version of it. See, so this is much better. So just make sure you got that selected there. Hit OK. That's it. And now you'll see how it changed into orange for all of them. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool deal there. All right. Now I got another style I want to do, and that is having to do with bullets. Now, what I did here is I bulleted this area, and then I went in there and modified the bullets. Now, you remember in the latter videos, one of them we had done the bullets, and I showed you how to change the bullet type and how to change the spacing and all that. And that's what I did here. Got a different bullet, different spacing, color, and all that. So what I want to do is take one of these bullet line, or just setting one of these lines here, just click onto there, and I'm going to create a style off of that. So in the future, all I have to do is select, in this case, we'll do it over here. I'll just select this area here, apply, you know, whatever we call that style, and it will apply it to that. Perfect. All right. So it'll make it really easy. So that way, when I come up with just a really perfect looking bullet, you know, as far as the graphic of it and the spacing and everything else, I want to have that for the future. Well, that's what we're going to do, make the style for. So anyway, so you click anywhere on here. All right, that's the first thing. And of course, we already have this open. So we'll go back down to here where it says new style, just like that. And this is what the style, or what the formatting is that the style is going to be representing. So up at the top here, we'll call this one the arrow bullet. All right, just like that. This is going to be a paragraph style once again. All right. And then down below here, we're going to make sure that this is available in our other documents as well. So there it goes there. And then once we've done all that, we go ahead and hit OK. And that's it. Now what happened here is that when we created that new style, that style became this one right here. But these are still on the old style. Okay. So it's a very easy thing to fix. All you do is just go basically and select all these other ones here, just like that, all right? And then we go back to the top here, and there's our arrow bullet. We click on the arrow bullet, and that fixes it right up there for us, so no problem there. Now, here's the big one. Over here, we'll select those guys just like that. Let me move this over. And then I'll go ahead and I'll click on arrow bullet, and look at that. I mean, that is really cool. And again, that's going to be available now in this document, obviously, to use later on, as well as all your other documents as well. So really, really neat. All right, so that's another one. So if I go back to here, I'll just do something real quick here. I'll go to here, enter, and I'll just, you know, type in blah, 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 blah. All right, so there it is, right? So now all I have to do is I select that area, just like that. Go up there and hit my arrow bullet, and voila. So really, really cool stuff there. Really keeps consistency, I'll tell you. Now, I got another one here. I got one more to do here to show you. And that's going to be this one over on the right side here. Now, in this one, let me just tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to kind of drag it to the side here like this. And that will kind of embed it into the side for us, so it gets it out of the way. And then I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. All right. So now I have another area here. This area right here. Now what I did here was I indented the paragraph. I made it italic. I think I changed the font size. No, I didn't do the font size, but I got the background color in there. A number of different things. I might even, right now, I'll just go change this just a little bit here. I'm also going to make it a little bit smaller, so something like that. All right, so there it is. So what I want to do is create a style that when later on, when I click onto a paragraph and then click on the style name, it'll make it look like this. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll click anywhere in there, first of all. And then we'll go back into our style area here, and we'll click onto our new style button there. Then at the top here, we're going to call this one the chip quote, okay? All right, and it's going to be a paragraph style. And this is the formatting for it. This is what it's going to look like. And then we go ahead and click on the new down here, so it's available in our other documents. And that's it. We go ahead and hit OK. And there we go. Now I go down to another paragraph. Let's say this one right here. Click onto that. and I go and I click on the chip quote, and look at that. I mean, that's powerful stuff there. Now I'm going to go and apply that to one more area here to show you another option here. So I'm going to click onto here, click on the chip quote, and there it goes. Now, after I've done like the third quote, all right, I look at it and I say, I think I'd like to maybe change this up a little bit. All right, now earlier I showed you how we actually went directly in and chose, you know, different looks and all that. But what I want to do instead is I want to change it here. Okay, so I want to select this, maybe go in there and make it just a little bit smaller. All right, and I also want to change the text color. So I'll go and change this. I want to make this more of maybe like a dark green. Oh, maybe not. How about purple? How about that? Okay, so I'll make it purple. All right. So once you do that, now it's like, okay, now what I want to do is make sure that this new, you know, the new stuff that we did to it, you know, the change that we made to it, will then update the style and thus update the other two paragraphs that we had applied that style to. So we made our changes. We're somewhere in there now. And now I go back and I click onto the drop down arrow next to the chip quote, all right? And I say I want to update the chip quote to match the selection, all right? So I click onto that and that updates it. Now, what happened? Well, now if I go back to the other quotes, you can see how they're now changed with the purple, and there's the other one. So that's pretty neat. And now that style will be that way when you use it later on in other documents. Okay, so now another type of style I want to show you is the character style. And this is the one where the style ultimately will affect whatever you've selected. Instead of the whole paragraph, it'll just do what you've selected. Now, I have an area down here that I made italic. I made it bold. I changed the color on it slightly. And I want to have that as a style. Those formats that are in there, I want that as a style so I can very quickly later on just highlight an area, click on the style, and it will apply that look to it, that set of formatting. So the trick here would be then to click anywhere in the area that you have, you know, where it has all the formatting that you want in the style. So we got that selected. We go back down here and we click onto the new style. And up here, we're going to put in there a name. We're going to call it, maybe we'll call it something like maybe special instruction. All right. Now, where we're going to be a little bit different from before, we're going to change this now from paragraph to character. Okay, just like that. And also, too, we want it to be available elsewhere as well, so not just in this document. So we do all that, very simple. Click OK, and there's our special instructions. So later on, so I'm going through my document and say, okay, I want to take maybe this sentence here, so I'll hold on my control key here, click my left mouse button. I get that area selected. Right now we're just using the normal style, which is just our normal look there. And now we'll go here and click on to special instruction, and there we go, just like that. And if we go a little bit further up here, I maybe take this whole paragraph, special instruction, done just like that. All right, I've got another idea for one more character type style, and that would be, I want one where when I select an area, it'll put maybe the strike through it. It'll make it italic, lighten it up a little bit. And this will be my way of taking other people's documents and that they want me to proofread or kind of add suggestions to or whatever. And I can actually kind of highlight the areas that I want them to maybe remove, or that I'm suggesting that they remove, and then click on that style and it'll put that strike through it. So that'd be kind of a cool thing there. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to go and maybe just take an area. I'm just going to select a small area here. And I'm going to do all that formatting. So I'm going to click on my strike through. I'm going to go ahead and make it italic. and then I'm going to go ahead and make the color just a little bit lighter, maybe something like that. That's about it. So then once I've done that, then I can go back and I can just click anywhere on it. Go back to my new style button. Go over here and I'll make this, we'll call this one suggested removal, something like that. All right. And of course, there's going to be a character. There we go. And we want to be able to use it everywhere. So we choose that there, hit OK, and that's it. So now in the future, I can say, okay, I'm going to take this area right here. I say they should remove that. And I'm going to click on the special suggested removal. And there goes on that. That's pretty neat. Go a little bit further here. I'll do a control click onto that sentence. All right. Suggested removal. There we go. So not bad. So hopefully you might be able to use that one or something like it. Okay, now another little thing here. Let's say that you want to see all of the areas that you had applied a particular style to. So let's just say for the chip quote, you want to see all the areas in the document that have that, all right? Have that applied. So what we would do is you would go over here to the chip quote, all right? Hit the drop-down arrow and tell it that you want to select all three occurrences. So whatever number you've done in there, it'll have that number there as a tally. So when you click onto that, it jumps you down to the first one here, say, and then you can scroll down and eventually you'll see, oh, went too far there. Go the other way. And then you can scroll up, there's the other one, and there's the first one, just like that. All right, so that's kind of an interesting little tidbit there. Now another thing you can do as well is if you had, let's say, we'll work with the chip quote here. We did the 3 different paragraphs on that. And you decide that maybe you don't want those 3 paragraphs to look like they do. You want them to go back to the way they look. In other words, we don't want to get rid of the style, from our system. We just want to get rid of the style having been applied to, or better yet, remove the style from those 3 different paragraphs. All right. Now we could do that manually, but why bother if we can do it more quickly this way? So what you have to do is just go over and you find the style. In this case, it's going to be the chip quote. We hit that little drop down arrow and we tell it what? Well, we want to clear the formatting from those 3 instances. So we go ahead and click on Clear Formatting, and there it goes. All right. And it's gone from all those. Pretty cool stuff there. All right. All right, so hopefully this comes in handy. I think it's a really good tool for some of you power users out there, or power user wannabes. This is definitely one of those it's probably one of the least understood tools that we have. But as you can see, it's very easy to set up there. And by the way, too, let me just say this before we get out of here. I'm going to close up this panel here just by doing that. Now, the next time that I go in and I click on that dialog box button, it'll still pop up that way. The other way to access that area is if you click onto this little more button here, and that gives you all your styles listed out here, pretty easy to get to. And then you also then have down here where you can go ahead and create your style as well. So a couple different ways of doing that. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching the video. Take care.